The first thunderboom hit so close it rattled the copper pans on my kitchen rack. Rain sheeted across Maple Glen in silver curtains while wind snapped the neighbor's magnolia like a rag. Porch lights clicked on in neat succession, boop boop boop. Down Willow Trail, except at my house, number 117. 1 second my furnace hummed, my fridge thrummed, and my smart thermostat glowed a cozy 70°, the next, everything flatlined. No LEDs, no Wi-Fi chirp from the router, not even that faint transformer hiss you only notice when it's gone. I shrugged into an old Navy issue rain parka, shoved bare feet into unlaced boots, and stepped onto the porch with a mag light clenched between my teeth. What I expected to see was a blackout, everybody dark, storm doing what storms do. Instead, my place was the only void in a postcard of suburban luminescence. Wilcox across the street had the ballgame blazing on a 70-inch screen. Old Man Carter's Christmas reindeer, still up though it was March, waggled joyously. Even Dave's 6-foot inflatable flamingo bobbed on its tether, lit from inside like a deranged carnival float. My yard alone looked abandoned. Before we dive in, can I ask you for a quick favor? Let us know in the comments which city you're watching from. It always means a lot to see how far these stories travel, and if tales of Karens getting exactly what they deserve make your day, feel free to subscribe. We've got plenty more where this came from. Now, let's get back to Maple Glen, where the storm was just getting started. Inside again, I thumbed my tablet awake. The home energy dashboard slapped me with a red banner, service suspended. HOA violation. Tiny fine print, contact HOA administrator for restoration. My eyebrows went up. In 10 years of running Heartland Power and Light, yes, my utility company, I'd never been on the wrong side of that screen. A hard rap echoed at the front gate. Rain hammered my shoulders while I fumbled the latch. Taped to the iron scrollwork, laminated against the weather, glared a neon orange violation notice, an authorized generator hookup, code 8B7. Immediate disconnect mandated. Signature scribble, Karen Larson, HOA president, generator. I hadn't fired the standby since last hurricane season. Someone was flexing. And there was only one somebody on this block petty enough to weaponize bylaws during a thunderstorm. 2 doors up, Karen's Cape Cod sat glowing like a high-end spa. Warm recessed lights. Porch sconces on a dimmer. Through the picture window I spotted her silhouette, neat platinum bob, cashmere cardigan, mug of cocoa the size of a soup bowl. Of course. She'd waited for bad weather to stage her little coup. I splashed through puddles, boots filling with icy runoff, and hammered her storm door. She slid it open. 1 polite inch, smile laminated, evening, Randall. Issues with your service. You cut my power during a storm. She cocked her head, as if listening to birdsong. HOA conducted a compliance sweep. Your solar backup's automatic reconnect violates Section 8B subparagraph 7. Safety first. It wasn't even on. Intent is enough, she said, sipping. I got a whiff of cinnamon. File the review paperwork, pay the restoration fee, board signs off in, 3 weeks. You know the drill. Lightning flashed, her living room chandeliers glittered like gilt jewelry. Behind me the rain found a way down my collar. Something inside me didn't heat up, it chilled. That navy calm, the one from nights in the CIC. When a blip turned hostile, settled over me. I nodded once and walked away mid-sentence. Let her savor the moment, she'd need the memory. Back home, I walked past the mudroom lights that hadn't worked in months and made my way to a locked door disguised as pantry shelving. I placed my thumb on the biometric scanner. With a soft hiss, the hidden door opened, revealing my private basement lab. Inside, 6 glowing monitors, backup internet, silent battery backups, and a metal plaque from MIT that read, Power IS 90% planning, 10% volts. The screens flickered on. A utility map showed our region mostly green and yellow, except for one flashing red dot. My house. Karen had found a backdoor in the system. She filed a bogus service request through the power company's customer portal, tricking a new tech into cutting my power. It was based on some old rule no one had looked at in years, harmless on its own, until someone petty and power-hungry abused it. I could have restored electricity with 2 clicks. Instead, I opened a new folder, Operation Blackout Bluff. Inside, I dropped the exact time of Karen's request, the dispatcher's ID, the call recording. Yes, we Log everything, her signature on the orange disconnect notice, screenshots of bylaw 8B7, outdated and never approved by the state she had overstepped. She didn't just pull a stunt. She faked authority to tamper with regulated infrastructure. And in federal terms, that spelled felony with a capital F. I sent a quiet message to our company's compliance team, check Maple Glen HOA. Look into any weird activity from the last 2 years. Then I sat back in my chair, cracked open a Dr. Pepper, and listened to the rain pounding on my powerless house. The next morning, I was making coffee on a little camping stove, sitting in my 54-degree living room. Cold, but kind of satisfying. At 9 a.m., I logged into our team chat. By 9:30, 2 analysts, Paula and Vic, were already digging through system records. At 11:15, they found gold. The clubhouse hot tub was illegally wired with heavy-duty breakers. No inspection. The approval form was signed by K. Larson. House number 8 was using huge amounts of power overnight. Why? Secret crypto mining machines. Meter change approved by, you guessed it, K. Larson. 4 homes on Cedar Row had fake smart meters installed. They showed 60% less electricity used than normal. Approval again, K. Larson. I sent everything to our legal team with a note, possible intentional tampering with public utilities. Then I confirmed my spot for Wednesday's HOA meeting. But I wasn't going myself. That's where Nolan Griggs came in, ex-IIS auditor, king of khakis. I gave him a hidden earpiece that linked straight to me, his cover story. Just a visiting uncle. Curious about the HOA. Wednesday evening, drizzle tapering, Nolan shuffled into the cinder block clubhouse while a micro-quadcopter of mine took roost on the fascia, lens trained through a grimy clerestory window. I saw everything, rows of folding chairs, stale coffee odor you could practically taste over video, and Karen center stage like a game show host. She opened with a self-congratulatory slide deck titled Emergency Energy Stewardship. Bullet points promised rapid protective disconnects and dynamic load rationing. Residents murmured, some impressed, most bewildered. Nolan raised a hand, face mild as skim milk. Question, Madam President. These new powers, who audits them? Karen's smile stretched. The board, of course. All actions logged in triplicate. Transparency is our watchword. Funny, Nolan said, unfolding a printout. Last Friday only one address, 117, Willow Trail, was dark. Who signed that off? Her nostrils flared. Grid hazard. Non-compliant solar. I believe your forms mistake both the danger and your authority, Nolan said calmly, reading out the service rep's name, the time Karen made her request. And the fact that she'd used the same weak password since 2019. The room went silent. Then, a few gasps, Karen lunged for the MIC, that's private. Nolan cut her off, with my voice feeding through his earpiece. As of 8 a.m. today, Maple Glen has been reclassified as a high-risk community by Heartland Power due to repeated unauthorized meter changes. He paused. New pricing rules apply, including retroactive fines for the past 2 months. Carter, the guy with the year-round Christmas lights, groaned. Patty clutched her pearls. Someone whispered, how bad is it? Nolan tapped a button. A screen lit up with a sample bill, base rate tripled. Plus $27 a day in fines. Karen's smile twisted, then vanished. She tried to spin it. This is ridiculous, just corporate bullying. Nolan didn't blink. According to Article 11, Section 4 of your own HOA charter, any officer who acts outside their legal power can be immediately voted out. A man in the back stood and shouted, second. Hands flew up everywhere. Like prairie dogs, the final count. 29 for recall. 0 against. Karen's vote didn't count, her own meter was suspended. No power, no vote. Just like that, soft-spoken librarian Dottie Mayers was nominated president. Motion passed. Applause filled the room. Karen tried to argue, but no one was listening. Anymore, outside, the rain was coming down sideways. From the building's security cam, we caught footage of Karen darting through the side door, drenched, with poor Arnold chasing after her, arms full of laminated signs and foam board charts. Later that night, In the HOA group chat, yes, I'm in there under a fake name, the memes came fast, Karen holding a plug, captioned, I control the weather, a gif of Darth Vader, watching lights go out across the street, one by one, but the real shock hit at sunrise. The HOA Central account got an updated invoice, $17,243.89 owed. Every charge labeled filed per misuse of infrastructure. I imagine Karen's phone exploded. As for me, I slept like a baby. My house was still cold. My fridge was still dark. But I felt good. The immediate danger was gone. Now came the next phase: inspections. Audits. Quiet consequences. The kind of slow-moving accountability no cocoa or clipboard smile could ever stop, and that's where we pause. Karen is dethroned but not yet erased. Her desperation will birth riskier schemes: a hired grid hacker, an attempted conduit tap, the viral drone confrontation, and the final, lights on celebration Maple Glen deserves. Karen disappeared for 3 whole days after the recall vote. During that quiet stretch, Maple Glen felt like late September after the county fair. Packs up, clean, calm, almost boring. Porch talk was back to tomato fertilizer and baseball trades. Dottie Mayers, our freshly minted HOA president, walked house to house with a clipboard labeled neighbor ideas and a Tupperware of lemon bars. Folks started believing the saga might end with a whimper. I knew better. People like Karen never quit, they just reload. Sure enough, on Friday evening a white cargo van with magnetic signs, Larson Home Energy Consulting, rolled into her driveway. Out hopped a kid who looked 20 at most, baggy hoodie, laptop plastered with cartoon stickers, earbuds dangling like 4 tubes. He waved to Karen, then pointed at utility boxes the way a tourist points at monuments. About 10 minutes later, my alert system lit up like a warning beacon. First, the electrical panel behind Unit 8 had been opened. Then, suspicious wireless activity near the clubhouse, someone trying to connect to the equipment. Both incidents were linked to one name: Derek Larson, Karen's nephew. Bit of an amateur hacker, according to a quick scroll through his socials. Once posted about breaking into a hotel minibar to score free Snickers. I took a sip of coffee, slid open the window to my small drone bay, and launched Watcher 3, a quiet, hummingbird-sized drone with night vision. It landed silently on a tree branch just above Derek's head, right as he was poking a metal tool into a live power box. That's when the system activated, a red light on the pole started flashing, and a deep voice boomed from a hidden speaker: step away from THE panel. This incident has been recorded. Derek jumped like a cartoon character, nearly doing a backflip, his screwdriver landing in the wet grass. Karen, wrapped in fleece on her porch, screamed, "It's just a test." But the panic on her face said otherwise. The drone caught everything: the rain, the yelling, the moment Derek tripped, the panic in his eyes. Every detail. Every splash. That night, I edited the video. Nothing fancy, just subtitles and a perfect freeze frame of Derek falling on his butt. I posted it anonymously to the Maple Glen Facebook group under the title, "When Aunt Karen Plays with Live Wires." By morning, it had gone viral across 3 county pages. Someone added banjo music. Someone else looped Karen's scream, "It's a test," until it sounded like a techno remix. A local radio host even mentioned it between crop reports. But the real shock came at 9 a.m. when Heartland Power's compliance officer sent an official warning to the HOA board. It didn't name Karen, but said someone was being investigated for tampering with live electrical lines, which is a felony. Everyone knew exactly who it meant. By Tuesday, 3 white trucks from the County Utilities Commission pulled into the neighborhood. Out came techs in yellow vests with thermal cameras and portable printers. Karen burst out of her house in a pink tracksuit, demanding to see warrants. The lead inspector, a calm, broad-shouldered woman named Tony, just pointed to a line in the state safety code. "Electrical inspections are like the weather," she said. "You don't get to vote on them." The damage? Massive. Fine number 1, the clubhouse hot tub was wired illegally into a city-owned street lamp. Fine number 2, Unit 8 was secretly running crypto mining rigs, pulling power through a hacked meter. Fine number 3, Karen's own pool pump was hooked to a hidden power line labeled holiday lights. Tony took photos, slapped big red "out of service" tags on everything, and handed Karen a thick stack of violation slips. Karen tried blaming raccoons. Tony raised an eyebrow. Raccoons install underground wiring now. I watched the whole thing from my home office. One monitor streamed the drone feed, the other showed our power grid. Almost every spot Karen had touched was now flashing yellow, a warning. Time to end this, Friday, 7:59 p.m. I activated Operation Grey Skies. 3 homes went dark, Karen's, her cousin Blake's crypto den, the clubhouse. The rest of the neighborhood stayed fully powered, and right then, Karen went live with a Facebook stream called Taking Back the Neighborhood. She had lights, a patriotic banner, and even a printed poster titled Corporate Bully Tactics. But as soon as she hit go live, the lights died. Only a single scented candle lit her stunned face. 19 people watched. Then the stream crashed. Top comment: "Pay your bill, lady." Outside, Nolan was walking his dog. He sent me one word: effective. Karen's support vanished overnight. Even Leo, her last loyal board member, tried to stage a comeback. He called a meeting at the clubhouse, but forgot there was no power. 20 neighbors showed up, mad and cold, and found Leo, flashlight in mouth, tripping over circuit breakers. Someone tossed him a battery lantern and shouted, "Try not to charge us for that too." Dottie scheduled an open-air town hall on the basketball court Saturday morning. Free coffee, folding chairs, me attending from the bleachers, baseball cap low. Residents one by one listed Karen's sins: power cut during storm, bogus fines, Christmas light citations, shaming kids for chalk art, that time she measured Carter's grass with a ruler, then Judge Edgar Rose, voice gravelly but firm: "We have two choices: drag this through court for years, or fix the charter today." He proposed the Maple Glen Fair Use Amendment. HOA cannot touch utilities, ever. Any future board budget over $5,000 requires full resident vote, maximum fine $50, anything larger needs small claims court. Vote by show of hands. Unanimous. Karen's pink tracksuit was nowhere in sight. Rumor said she was home printing lawsuits on her inkjet. Sunday dusk, my Tampa dashboard blinked again, attempt to reconnect power at Karen's meter, wrong LAN key, repeated retries. Then a chat message popped on the HOA forum from Karen L: "Enjoy your little festival. The grid isn't safe. I'll prove it." I'd anticipated a final Hail Mary. Failsafe number 7, nicknamed Karen Trap, monitors for brute force meter key cycling. When triggered, it slams the perpetrator meter to test mode, which powers a single 60-watt bulb hardwired inside the can. Everything else stays dead. The bulb glows bright orange as a warning beacon. 9 p.m. Karen's kitchen window lit with that eerie tangerine single bulb glow. Within minutes, pictures hit the neighborhood chat, lone light in a sea of darkness, like a jack-o'-lantern mocking her own tactics. Dottie phoned me, half apologetic, half cackling. Should we bring her some candles? I suggested a surge protector instead. Monday morning, a certified envelope bearing the Department of Energy seal landed on Karen's doormat. Inside, cease and desist, copy of federal statute on utility tampering, and a friendly note from Heartland Power Legal: further intrusion may result in referral to U.S. Attorney's Office. Not an arrest, but close enough to freeze most. Blood. Ring cam footage, public now thanks to a neighbor, showed Karen opening the letter, reading page 1, and sitting down hard on the steps. She stayed there a long minute, rain starting to spot her slippers. Then she got up, yanked her for sale sign out of the garage, and stabbed it into the sod like a white flag. 2 weeks later, a U-Haul trailer popped up at dawn. Karen slipped out with zero fanfare, sun hat, sunglasses, Mini Cooper hauling the month-old trailer, peel and stick, flex tape, around the door. Carter captured a photo and posted, "Power has left the building." 48 Smile reacts in an hour, cleanup began in earnest. Heartland crews swapped every shady meter for fresh certified units. The clubhouse jacuzzi became a planter for dwarf maples. Blake sold his crypto rigs on Craigslist. Rumor says the buyer was Karen's nephew, Derek. Some people never learn. Dottie's idea board turned into action lists. Solar shade pergola behind the clubhouse, Green Initiative grant. From Heartland, I pushed that paperwork through. Community battery bank under carport, providing street lamp backup during storms. Monthly potluck plus movie night. Grace, my daughter, volunteered a projector. Carter contributed legal reindeer extension cords. A little library box built by Hank from scrap pallet wood, painted robin egg blue by Patty's grandkids. I attended meetings by video, face visible now that folks knew the CEO lived among them. No more secret proxy. My only condition, keep bylaws plain English and never, ever touch a breaker without a licensed tech. Everyone agreed. To celebrate the turnaround, Maple Glen threw Powerfest on the first sunny Saturday of April. The new pergola's solar array ran string lights shaped like tiny light bulbs. Patty baked cupcakes topped with fondant drones sporting smiley faces. Nolan donned a superhero cape emblazoned Ant-Man and gave a 5-minute workshop on shutting off your panel safely, righty-tighty, lefty lights out. Hank grilled bratwursts. Carter finally retired his reindeer only to replace them with 2 LED mallards nodding in tempo to classic rock. The star of the show was a 6-foot digital display, gift-boxed in burlap. Dottie pulled the cover to reveal Maple Glen Community Grid Monitor, live readouts of neighborhood solar production, minute-by-minute usage totals, and an alert banner that flashed green when everything sat within safe load. Small plaque at the base read, "Never let someone who doesn't understand the system be in charge of the switch." Underneath, etched tiny, a cartoon drone with crossed-out angry eyebrows cheering echoed down the cul-de-sac. Even Judge Edgar cracked a grin. Grace's high school jazz trio set up under the pergola and played Take 5. Children zipped on scooters trailing battery-powered twinkle lights. I strolled through it all, anonymous ball cap low, hearts well tugging at my chest. What had been a war zone 6 weeks earlier looked like a Norman Rockwell cover lit by LEDs. Near sunset, Nolan ambled over holding 2 lemonade mason jars. "Grids. Stable," he said, nodding at the monitor pulsing serene green. "We clink jars. Funny thing," he added. "Sometimes power's loudest when it's quiet." Across the court, Dottie approached a shy couple standing by the snack table, new buyers of Karen's old house. She welcomed them, handed over a folder marked "Friendly Bylaws, no fine print." They laughed when Carter's mallards quacked. On cue. A few weeks later, local TV did a human interest spot titled "Neighborhood Turns Blackout into Bright Side." They interviewed Dottie, "I just bake cookies and listen," and Nolan, cape on hanger, but the reporter insisted he wear it for the shot. Segment ended with a slow pan of the plaque and the drone etching. Ratings spiked. I fielded calls from 3 HOAs asking for our playbook, Karen. Last I heard she was house hunting 2 counties east. Real estate rumor says she now has a clause in every offer, HOA must lack energy provider employee residence. Good luck with that. One warm May night I finally flipped on every light in my house, porch sconces, hallway recesses, even the goofy lava lamp Grace bought me for Father's Day. Not to show off, just to soak in the hum. I brewed decaf, sat on the porch rocker, watched streetlights blink in perfect rhythm. No lone orange bulb, no buzz of petty drones, only cicadas and distant laughter from a dog-walking couple. Power isn't about plugs or volts. It's about trust, and if you're lucky, a neighborhood that learns the lesson without burning down the substation. Maple Glen learned. The grid held. And somewhere beyond the county line, a pink tracksuit probably flinched every time a light flickered. As for me, next week I'm presenting our story at the State Utilities Conference. Title slides already done, How a Backyard Bully Taught Us Community Resilience. There's a cartoon drone in the corner, wearing sunglasses. I'm pretty sure the audience will get the joke. Until then, friends, keep your breakers labeled, your grills hot, and your skies drone-free. And if a self-appointed queen ever tries to yank your plug in the dead of a storm, remember Maple Glen, flip the script, not just the switch.